6 p.m. on my laptop. Let's call this meeting to order. We're missing Mason. He's in the please stand for invocation led by myself, and I'll pledge allegiance led by. First and Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for your touch upon our lives, upon our district. Father, we ask you, Lord, for wisdom, and with wisdom, understanding. Lord, I ask you, Lord, that you just be upon everyone with regards to the weather, Father, that you just keep us safe. And we just give you thanks that we didn't get the weather that we could have gotten. And we ask you, Lord, to touch those that are receiving that weather. In Jesus' name, amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, in accordance with BISD legal, we'll ask Dan Schaefer to administer the oath of office to our newly elected trustees, Mrs. Jerry Atkins, Mrs. Joy Sullivan, and Mrs. Peg Six.
Congratulations. If you would repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear.
I, Jerry Atkins, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee of the Brazos-Port Independent School District of the state of Texas.
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee of the Brazos-Port Independent School District of the state of Texas.
And will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
And I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our newly elected board members, Mr. Atkins, Mr. Sullivan, and Mr. Peg. Thank you. Thank you for your service. We will now ask Mr. Denise Babb to conduct a public hearing on the federally funded program for 2015-16 program year. This public hearing, so audience participation is provided at the conclusion of the presentation.
Good evening. I'm pleased to present the board with the summary of the BISD Special Education Federal Funding. In accordance with board policy EHBA legal, I will present a summary of Part B of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act grant, which provides service supports for students with special needs. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, special education federal funds are distributed to BISD through 2 state grant programs. Part B of the IDEA grant, the main program, authorizes grants to state and local education agencies to offset part of the cost of the K-12 educational needs of children ages 3 through 21 with disabilities. Also, the grant targets supplemental services for children ages 3 to 5. The Special Education Department exists to support services mandated by federal and state law. What services do our federal funds support? In planning our budget this year, we concentrated on the services required by federal and state law, our department plan, and district and campus needs. BISD's Special Education Department's organizational structure aligns with BISD's strategic plan for providing high-quality instruction. The vision of the Special Education Department is to provide collaborative support services in an environment that embraces all learners to successfully achieve their full potential. This diagram illustrates all areas in which we provide support. We provide active support and staff members to assist with instructional and behavioral interventions in an effort to prevent special education when possible. We provide assessment staff members for the diagnosis and ongoing assessment of students with special needs. We equip administrators and other staff members with knowledge of an ARD facilitation process that supports student needs. and we collaborate with all curriculum departments to provide high-quality instructional opportunities for all students receiving special education services, focusing on the individualized needs of the student. These services include teachers in our PASS programs, our program for students with significant emotional and behavioral needs, special education paraprofessionals, support services for students with visual, occupational, and physical therapy needs, supplemental instructional supplies, including community-based instruction, life skills curriculum materials and supports, and assistive technology supports. The Special Services Data Management System, assessment tools and kits, professional staff development, and contracted services such as assessment, speech therapy, bilingual services, consultants, and residential placements. Again, our department manages 2 federal grants, the Idea B federal grant and the Idea B preschool grant. The Idea B grant allocation for 14-15 was $2,454,392. We received an additional $581,932 in roll forward funds, making our total allotment $3,036,324. In 15-16, we are budgeting for an allotment of $2,450,000 with an estimated roll forward of $492,000, making our maximum entitlement estimated to be $2,942,000. The decrease in funding will not negatively impact our operations as we continue to decrease our dependence on contracted services and our hiring of full-time staff, for example, our BI teacher. In addition, the district's compensation plan continues to enable us to attract and retain quality assessment staff each year. Okay. We had included a chart that had a distribution of grants across campuses that didn't make it to the presentation, but we'll make sure that we get that to you so that you can see that. Idea B preschool grant is a much smaller grant that we received, and the Idea B preschool grant total allocations in 14-15 was $66,000, which pays for special education preschool program for children with disabilities certified teachers. Our anticipated allocation for this grant in 15-16 remains the same. And I'd be happy to answer any questions before moving on to our other federal programs.
Are we seeing an increase or decrease in the number of students that need these services?
We are actually seeing a slight decrease. We usually range around 10% of special education students in our district, and we are currently at 9%. We have exactly 1,000, and I'll tell you the exact number here, 1,061 students as of our 2014-15 snapshot date receiving special education services, which is down 1% from the previous year.
Okay, and the cause of the decrease?
Higher quality Tier 1 services across the district, meeting those kids' needs.
Things are getting better.
Yes.
What is, if you can tell us the average cost per student that is spent?
The average cost per student, I don't have that exact number with me, but I'd be really happy to get that to Mr. Massey so that you can have that information.
To follow up on George's question, his was for the district. How do we rank per state?
The state.
Percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise,
Yeah.
the state is looking for a goal of around 8%. But you can be within 1 or 2% of that goal of 8% and be within normal ranges. But they would like to see us around 8% for receiving specifically designed instruction.
And if we were to exceed that 1 or 2%, then TEA would be in our business?
It's not necessarily, well, they might be. They might be in our business. I can't say that they wouldn't be. But if you look at sampling of students with disabilities across any population, there's approximately 8 to 10% of the natural population that has some sort of disability.
So we have 1,061 students,
Yes, sir.
And how is the ethnicity broken down?
I don't have that answer either for you, as far as the ethnicity breakdown. Let me make sure I don't have that. I don't have it broken down by ethnicity, but again, that's a report that I'd be happy to provide you with.
Is it at the higher level, or is it like K through 5, K through 4, or is it at the higher level?
If you look across the campuses, it's kind of difficult to tell you by higher level or lower level, because the students move a lot and come in and out of services a lot of times. Ideally, you don't see students receiving special education services until possibly around the age of 6 years old or higher, because that's an area when you're able to diagnose better through the assessment instruments. But we do have some students who are born with significant disabilities, so we do have that 3 through 5 population. A lot of our students are receiving, like I said, a higher quality level of intervention services. So we're not seeing as many students in special education at the secondary levels. The percentages by campus are higher because of the feeder pattern and just gathering them all in one location. But we are not seeing as many students needing that specifically designed instruction because of the great job of differentiation that's going on in the classroom.
I have another question. Are we making sure that our teachers are protected when they need to be protected?
Absolutely. I would say our teachers
I
are
mean,
protected
I
when they need to
know
be protected.
incidents where they were assaulted by the students.
As far as special education students specifically?
Yes, ma'am, special
Okay.
education, yeah.
Okay.
And so do we provide aids for those teachers who need them?
Absolutely. We do have a district policy of looking at, I work real closely with human resources and looking at staffing allocations based on student needs and students with higher levels of need who might have emotional or behavioral disorders, and I'm assuming that that's who you're referencing. We make sure that they have the appropriate number of staff as well as appropriate training and support to address these issues.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Babb so she can talk about the remainder of our federal programs.
Thank you. Good evening. In accordance with board policies EHBF legal and EHBD legal and local, in a continuation of this public hearing, I will present a summary of BISD's Perkins, ESEA, and state compensatory supplemental funding. An important aspect of identifying needs and developing strategies to support student learning is to gather stakeholder feedback and buy-in throughout the process. I will provide an opportunity at the conclusion of the report to answer questions from the members of the audience and the board. Carl D. Perkins are federal funds which support our career and technical education, or CTE, programs at both of our high schools. Like all federal programs, the money is intended to carry out programs that develop more fully the academic and technical skills of secondary students who elect to enroll in career and technical education programs. These are planning amounts that we estimate to receive from the state. Our actual maximum entitlements do not come in until later, once the agency has received and approved the applications. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act, formerly known as No Child Left Behind, is used to support and enhance the education of students who are economically disadvantaged and behind their peers in academics. In addition, funds are used to support our ELL students and provide training and support for teachers and principals. The ESEA consolidated grant consists of the following. The Title I Part A is designated to upgrade the overall education program on a school-wide campus, as well as address any areas identified as missing federal adequately yearly